And a warm welcome from Blackpool. Our last quarter-final with me, Tony Holgate, and joining me once again, Nick Finn. Neil Raybone we're looking at there, and he's going to be up against the whacker, Rob Wharne, who's going to break us off. And this man is fast and furious, Nick, isn't he?
He definitely is, yeah, but there's certainly a bit of a contrast in styles between these two players. As you say, Rob is absolutely fast and furious. He's on form. He's been playing well for the last couple of events. And Neil Raybone, well, we know what kind of quality he can produce. Should be a really good game. And awaiting the winner of this one, Sean Story. So we know 3 of the semi-finalists, one still to decide. Who will it be, the whacker or the razor?
Well, Neil played pretty solid stuff against Carl Morris in the last round. I was fortunate enough to be on the comms for that match. I've had a few glimpses of Rob on the outer tables yesterday, and every time I looked he was running out finishes in very quick fashion, and then you'd see him play safety.
Yeah, a bit of an ugly table there.
Yeah,
he went for a developing shot instantly and just came across to try and break out the 2 yellows. Came up short, so he's just drawing stumps and pulling back.
Yeah, impressive stuff from Sean Story to get through to the semi-final, and like you said, he awaits the winner of this. After this match we will have our first semi-final. You see the number 1 is still there, looking ominous, Tom Cousins, and he'll be playing David Hogan. Both winners of 7-6 scorelines in their quarter-final matches.
Do you know, if Tom plays the way he played earlier and David plays the way he played in their respective quarterfinals, that should be a really close game.
Yeah.
On paper, Tom goes into it as a fairly clear favourite, but looking back on their quarterfinals, you know, Tom needs to up his game because David played exceptionally well. We know Tom can up his game, obviously. All will be played out in front of us this evening. We're going to play right down to a winner tonight. Finals around about 10 p.m. this evening, so lots of action still to come.
Yep, all building nicely.
It really is. Bit of a tester for Neil, and lovely. Strokes it in.
Passed with flying colours.
So needs to develop the ball on the left-hand side. He's got the angle to do it now. So you can cut this into the corner and play this with trace of right-hand side. In fact, he can play the one to middle and knock it out. I thought he was going to use the one to corner, but yeah. Ooh, just sits that red on top of the yellow.
Still goes in the middle.
It does. Yeah, it does. It's just about how you navigate that position now, because he's going to have to take the one to bottom right, and then would probably, I mean, that's the ideal ball to get on that one to middle. It's also the ideal ball to get onto the one on the bottom cushion, so I think he's forced to come up. Bit of work to do now with the cue ball. I mean, I understand. Why he's taking this one off the table, but it's a lot trickier positional shot. Oh, played that well.
Clever little bump, but wrong side of the red next to the yellow. I think he's having a little look now because the red just above it may go off. There's 2 yellows there. The yellow on the left-hand side of the 2 stuck together near the centre, off that yellow into the middle. I just wonder if he does have the angle. Well, he could be snookered here. Well, that's going to be side rail and trying to pot this back into the middle. Not what Neil Raybone wanted.
No.
Rob Wharne will be getting ready to start his engine. Unless Neil Raybone can pull out some big shot with a kick in this red back into that centre pocket. That's what he's going to attempt to do. Too thin. Well, the only saving grace there is where he's left the cue ball.
Yeah, that's now not a gimme to get safe. Should be okay. Can just run across to the side cushion and hide behind those two yellows, but
well, it's not so much now. There's no double there because I think the yellow. But is the yellow in the way?
I think it goes past the yellow.
I'm looking at the overhead, and I'll tell you what, it's tight.
He's left us.
It does go.
Bit of a mistake. Got to be said. Expect Neil to go close with this.
He's got it.
He has.
It's a great shot.
Wow, that really was a mistake from Rob. He should have hidden that cue ball behind the yellows. Just came up short. You've got to say it's a bit unfortunate for Rob in some ways that Neil left the ball where he did.
Neil got a bit of fortune there when he came out, tried to kick the red back, and where he left the cue ball left Rob.
Balls.
That's a fair break.
Yeah. Yeah, several balls racing towards the pocket, and well, take your pick. I mean, if the red on the right hand side, just below the bulk line, passes the yellow to top right, then he probably goes reds. But if not, yellows are looking just as inviting.
No, I prefer reds for me, just because you've got the yellow next to the black.
Yeah, that red definitely goes. You can see from this.
They are far easier. In fact, there's very little to do here for Neil Raybone. This is a nice layout. You know where his last red is, which is nearest the cue ball now. That'll be just, if you can get straight on that, he just drops that in and a black into the bottom left hand corner. So he'll want to remove these three reds at the top of the table now. This one up here, then the one over the bag. They want just a slight little angle just to stun the cue ball down a bit, and well, the first one took 6 minutes. This one's going to probably take less than a minute. Won't be far off it. Whatever you look at it, it's Raybone that's going to have won them both. Perfect start for Neil. Cue ball seemed to just, did it jump a little bit when he played out there? I mean, he's okay. He's going to cut the red into the corner. I'm just looking at the angle. He should be able to drift into the rail without contacting that yellow that's nearby the middle bag, and just bounce out a little bit and have the black into that bottom bag. Yes, absolutely bang on. A pretty straightforward black ball now for Neil Raybone for a 2-0 lead. Down it goes. Breaking out from Raybone.
4 frames to 1.
One breaking off now. And he's got the black ball. He did make a red, so the black will come back up, and the whacker will stay at the table and have a little look at what he's got on offer. Of course, no golden break. He was just relieved to see that last red tickle into the top corner. It's a pretty open split, and I think again we could be seeing the balls very quickly fired into the pockets.
Just back with that challenger, Jaden Billingham. He's still rocking and rolling. He's 4-2 up to get himself into the last 32. Jonathan Roberts is playing well this weekend. He was a long way down in his previous match. I think I noticed him something like 5-1 down. He's obviously come back and won because he's just beaten Jeff Allen 6-1. And I saw him put a post up earlier on saying that he backed himself at 80-1, put 100 quid on, and he said, "I'm having it this weekend." He's going strong. The bookie will certainly be looking at that thinking, whoops.
You're back down the corridors of social media again, aren't you?
Yes, yeah.
Stalking the corridors.
Young Ricky Jones still going well. John Egan, he had a great win against Andy Lucas in the last match, having trailed. He's now 5-2 up against Scott Pope.
That was a great shot there from Wharne. Slapped down the rail.
He plays those so well.
Played that one very well, that's for sure. Has he got a bit of angle just to pull the cue ball down? It's not much. If he has any, he might have to screw straight back into the rail. Back out again. Oh, he had a tad. Played it well. A little bit of left-hand side on this. See a little bit of spin take. And the whacker will get one on the board. No messing about from Rob Wharne.
Lost the cue ball.
It's come up dry.
Yeah, it was just heading towards that middle pocket. Caught the knuckle. You can see it here. Just doesn't quite catch the front. And yeah, dry break. Rob will love what he sees.
Heavy.
Yeah, needed that to hold up, and actually in playing that shot all his eggs were in one basket because he doesn't have a recovery ball. Nothing goes here, so again he's going to have to pull back, try and get that cue ball in behind the red, and doesn't. Not left anything easy.
Long yellow into the bottom left hand corner for Raybone. That's his only shot. And he's looking to see where he's going to finish after, well, presuming he pots it.
Yeah, he played one similar a couple of frames ago. Absolutely nailed it. So he's cueing well. It's a tester though. You can just float it in, he doesn't have to give it any pace. Makes the shot easier when you can just play them at that kind of pace, doesn't it? You can just find your line.
I'd have rather belted it.
Would you?
I didn't particularly like rolling balls about the place. Not that I didn't trust the table, I didn't trust my own arm. Not to be straight anyway.
I knew there was a reason you got that nickname.
Yeah, pretty much. Still a little bit fiddly here for Neil Raybone. It's that yellow ball that's very close to the middle bag. That's one little problem there. A little bit in no man's land. I'm just wondering if he could very thinly double that problem yellow that's near the middle back into the other centre pocket. It's a very thin cut double. I think it would go. The other shot he's got is obviously to double this yellow that's a higher one up the table into the corner. Or is he playing the cut? Well, he's hit it a bit thick. It's not going to go. So a chance for Rob Wharne to level things up. Nice little shot there just to free that red. They're all pretty open now. Well, they are open. Just got to get on that one at the top rail. For me, just play the red down into the bottom right now. Now he's on this ball. And just the easy stuff to do for Rob Wharne. He's left that a bit short. I'd like to play the other red in the middle of the table into that other middle bag and brought the cube off the bottom rail and back up, but he's still at the table. Never mind, he just made that one look easy, but that was a little bit...
Yeah, good recovery.
Down goes the black and we are now level. I don't know if that cube was going towards that corner, but well, it was going towards it. I don't think it was going in, but it did help when it cannoned into that other ball.
Yeah, Rob puts his hand up.
It wasn't going in off, but it was handy there just to nudge that red in.
Yeah. Another one of those fake apologies that...
Yeah, we have a few of those.
He doesn't mean it. He really doesn't. He's not sorry in the slightest. He looks good, doesn't he? He's in full flow now. Just needs to think about this.
Well, he's kind of... I mean, try and move it, or does he even just play the double into the other centre?
Yeah, I think...
He can move it now.
Yeah.
The problem with this is where he's landed is if he hits cannons just into the red, leaves the yellow where it is, and he can park the cube right. That's just what I was going to say.
Yeah. Just double kisses.
Still stuck together.
Yeah.
So now the only option here is he needs to get on the double. So it's down the rail now. We've already seen him belt one down the other cushion not very long ago. Oof.
Goodness
savage. That's a savage ball down there.
Fires them in there.
Yeah.
Needs to make sure he gets this. Yeah, I was going to. He's got to get this cue ball quite a way back, almost to where it is now, just to clear that 8 ball and leave himself a potting angle. Took his medicine and just came further up the table, but oof.
Cushed up.
Who likes this?
Well, all you can do is dribble it in, and then, well, what you got? Cut back into the middle, or a long black into the top left-hand corner. Long way away there. Sort of pulled his arm at that one.
Yeah, he missed that.
Horrible shot, though, to be fair. You know, if you get your hand on the table, you're quite happy, but you know, when you length of the table, and it was a real nasty one. That
he's left Neil plumb on one of his tricky balls as well. Rob just seemed to stab at that a little bit, didn't he? It was a tricky shot for sure. Just seemed to jab it.
Yeah, very contrasted, these two players. Raybone with a more sort of casual amble around the table, and maybe, let's just say, a bit more measured. Whereas Rob likes to get on with it, more swashbuckling and quick fire.
Yeah.
Attention call.
Raybone there having a little glance at the clock behind him.
I think he's just deciding whether he wants to move that ball on the right-hand side. He does have the angle. He could screw across into that red, but I think he's just decided to land it instead. Oh no, he is still going to move it. He was just deciding which ball to move it from. Do you know, I mean, he had the perfect angle there, Tony, to land on it, and these aren't small pockets. I mean, they're not tough shots up the rails. Why do these players try to move a ball when they don't necessarily need to?
I wouldn't have moved it.
Unnecessary for me.
Because it connects you to the black as well. If you just leave a slight angle on it, you just pop it down the rail and bring it out, and you've got the black in the bottom corner. And now he's giving himself extra work, and this is the wrong angle he has on this red. He'd have liked to be a little bit further down so he could pull the cue ball towards the red ball, but it's going to be going away from it. I mean, he'll top spin this through. But just a couple of inches down, he could be next to that.
Yeah, he's got a tester now.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if he'd left it there in the first place, I think it would have probably been easy if he was right behind it when he had an angle to get over there. So, the thing is, when you're out there playing, though, Nick, once you get something in your mind that you know you're going to do, and you think, right, I'm just going to follow it through and just and do what I think, and but that's a bad miss.
But I'm sure if Neil was sat here commentating on this game, he'd be questioning if a player tried to move that ball.
It's a crazy world when you're out there in a match, though, Nick. Trust me.
You know, I mean, if you see someone, well, for example, Mick. I mean, Mick Hill would have never tried to move that, I don't think, in my opinion. I mean, he's against moving balls unless you absolutely have to.
Well, Rob's played a loose one there as well.
Hasn't he ever?
Wow.
I mean, what's your option here? You can try and pot it dead weight into the top right and leave it hanging. If it doesn't go in, then at least Neil only has a double. He's played it to top left dead weight. Oh, great shot.
Lovely black there from Rob Wharne. And
so, essentially the same thing as I was saying. I was thinking top right, but he chose top left.
I think he chose top left because he had a better cue ball. If he went the other way, he was leaving a wider shot for Raybone. But you think, I'm going to nudge that and stick it right over that back.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he's not played the shot great, and that was the end product.
Yeah. Synchronised potting there. There's two yellows.
Yeah.
Drop into the pocket. Top left and bottom. Top left and top right fall at exactly the same time.
Spit it out, Nick. These two reds obviously go the two that's stuck together at the top of the table. You want it to be slightly above it. If he's below it, he's going to push that second red next to the yellow, but he must be okay. Yeah, he's fine. Well, it's all about getting on the red at the bottom of the table for this frame then. And the pace is suddenly quickened in this match.
Yeah.
Not far from being halfway through with the match clock.
Was going to just about to go around and have another look at the angle, but realised he only had 10 seconds left on the clock. He still has his extension, I believe. The graphic would suggest he still has it. It's like a good angle just to drift down. Probably just to the left side of that yellow. Yeah. Oh, I was going to say maybe cannon the yellow, but did not expect him to.
Two missed balls, 2 frames on the spin from Neil Raybone, and that one was easier than the last one. I think he's looked at that sort of thing. Maybe he's tried to pinch a bit of pocket so he can cannon straight into that yellow.
He's left an edge, but it is wafer thin.
Yeah, the cue ball's very close to the cushion.
Made it.
Brilliant shot, but where's the red going to go? He's going to be snookered. Good news, bad news.
Yeah, full ball as well. You can't even use the left side cushion here. If you could get to that left side cushion far enough up, you'd fancy yourself to pot this, but he can't. And the yellow on the right hand side is in the way of the angle.
You could bend, right, so you bend onto the right hand rail past the yellow, but he's going to play it with check. He's run out of time, so he's got to do hello. He's got it.
He has. What a shot!
He's played that in a rush as well.
Yeah.
I think it was going to go the other way, you know. Well,
did him a favour there. The clock probably. He's got another tester here. I mean, he's played a couple of these and nailed them both. But there's a bit more pressure on this one.
Well,
plays those so well, doesn't he? That
he's dragged that one out of the fire from absolutely nowhere.
His single ball potting has been exceptional so far.
Played it with a load of check side. I mean, that is a great shot there from Raybone.
He's got a big break.
He has. Cuball's not been friendly.
No, there's no easy opener. He's got an option on yellows. He's got, I think, the one that's above it goes long, or it's a bit tricky to middle, but there isn't much else. There really isn't much else. If he wants to pull the trigger here, he's going to have to pull out a big pot. Maybe it's not the time to. To middle it is. Not sure about that, Tony. I mean, I was looking at that yellow on the left-hand side, thinking if you just tickle in behind that and just hand it over to Neil and say, right, you do something, because if Neil sat in behind this yellow near the pocket, he doesn't have anything to attack, and the containing shots are limited as well.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But if you get a player like Rob, who I think is similar to the way I used to approach the game, I'd rather go down missing a pot than playing a rough safety, because my safety was terrible.
Yeah.
I'll be blunt about it. And I'd avoid it at all costs, because I backed myself to pot the balls. And what Rob's done there is he's backed himself, and it's just not happening. They're tricky, horrible little shots dribbling in from those angles into the middles.
Yeah. Again, almost a little bit unlucky, because that was the only ball on the table that he could attack.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a stinker. Could have come out much nicer. Just seems to be against him at the moment, doesn't it? He's still very much in the game at 3 each, but it seems to be against him. Yeah. Neil's pulled out a couple of kind of miracle finishes now. Rob would be looking at this thinking, I could be clear here.
And Neil's missed two reds.
Yeah.
Neil trying to make extra certain of these. By no means a formality, because there's a bit of traffic down here he's going to come into. You see there with his little pointed with his finger, he'd like to drop this into the centre, bring the cue ball somewhere around that middle bag, obviously not in it, and then hello, he's gone in the corner.
Straight.
Well, I mean, he wanted to come up the table and play the red into there, and I mean, he should not. If you see, look, he's digging down with it. Is he gone sort of with a bit left hand side of that cue ball? He's He's half stunned that. When you just want to play a plain ball.
Amazing at the moment. Errors from both. I mean, is this a little bit of quarter-final nerves, knowing that,
Well, that's it. There's a lot at stake, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Sean Story awaiting the winner of this, of course, and that will be our second semi-final. First up after this, the first semi-final will be Tom Cousins, the ultimate pool number 1, and he'll be playing David Hogan. There's our fan Dad.
Fresh back from a flight from China.
He's always flying somewhere. Out there surveying the situation. I think he got his last 16 was our fan. It's around there. He was in earlier today. Good old steady player is our fan Dad, the Daddy. Oof. And where on earth did that one come from, Rob? They're both at it.
Yeah, he was actually toppled by Rob Wharne, 7-6.
That's right. Well, does the red slide past the black into the middle? It might creep in off the far jaw.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Bridging over the yellow, of course. Well,
used it all.
This is now becoming quite error-strewn. Could be a case of who makes the least mistakes that gets through.
I mean, aside from the fact that Neil's just about to go 4-3 ahead, given the mistakes that have been made so far, I mean, what's the player's mindset at the moment? They both got to be in turmoil, haven't they?
This is a quarter-final. You're right at the business end now. You're looking at the points, the way your positioning is going on the tour. This is, we're in event number 5. This is a big thing in the middle of the season.
2 of each, I think. No, one red, 2 yellows, but they're all, again, that's a great break. And again, it's been a bit unfortunate in the layout. There's nothing easy.
For me, I try and pinch the yellow into the middle, not the one that's next to the red, on the thin cut, and kick into the one to the right side. And this is exactly what he's going to play now.
That's going to go safe.
You would have played it a bit more pace than that. So,
yes, indeed.
He's removed the yellow, but he's made it probably, well, it was indeed worse.
Oh, it's horrible now, Tony. The thing is, there's nothing that links with it to be able to knock it out. The angle that he needs on the yellow that's just below the 8 ball is kind of covered by the red. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's trying to leave an angle there, and he hasn't.
Well, it's not going to. There's no way you're getting past that red, I don't think, from that angle.
No, not from here, but I think he was trying to maybe try and leave it straight. He's just overhit it. This is a bit of a pickle.
Well, he's landed pretty good there.
I mean,
yellow into the bottom corner, he gets a double.
Yeah, he's got. I mean, it's actually not the worst result, because where that cue ball was tracking to, I don't think he'd have had a shot. And now suddenly he's got this one, drop it in, and he leaves himself a double, and he's already made a double like this earlier on.
Not only that, it's easy. He's on the black. He hasn't got to do anything with the cue ball. Just knock in the double, frames up.
That little knuckle.
Well, the way he lines up doubles, he lines them up from the pocket back to the ball, rather than people. I used to line them up and sort of from the other side. He does it in reverse.
But the other thing he does as well, which if you watch a club player line, let's just watch the shot first.
Well, he knows what he's doing with his doubles.
Brilliant. So if you watch a club player line the ball the shot up, they line it up from the ball. But if you notice when Neil lines it up, he lines it up from just below the ball, because obviously when the ball comes off the cushion, it's not on the line it's on now. It's coming from below that line. Do you see what I mean?
It does feel like everything's against you when it starts to happen.
He's breaking from exactly the same place that Neil Raybone's been breaking from. Oh dear.
Made a ball.
So another one that he's nailed. A couple of balls come together on the right side cushion. So just something to think about. It's going to be one to develop. It's one of those you kind of want to develop it from below as well, don't you? Or come into it from just below, because otherwise you just push it onto the yellow and it doesn't do anything. Not sure what the plan is here. He's still got the red on the left side nearest the 8 ball, which maybe he's going to clear that, try and clear that yellow now to open that pocket up. And he's got it long now if he wants. Has he got an angle to come across and knock that red out, or is he just leaving the red for a double?
Double's tight, it does go, but
yeah, I think he can get across. Yeah, there was a lot going on with that shot. I mean, it came out lovely, but compromised the pot. Not easy here for Neil though, is it? It's a bit of a messy table, and you feel it's one of those tables he probably has to attack from here, because all the balls are on the cushion. There's nowhere to hide.
I mean, I'm looking at the table now, and I honestly don't know where to go with this. He has to play the ball over the bag, and then you don't want to, because you want to use that as one of these plants, but you don't think you have any choice. We didn't.
He needs a lot to go right here. This is a tough table. And that's one of them out, but
no,
not great.
Not for me.
No.
Don't fancy him now in this frame.
One along the bottom cushion.
Well, this is low percentage. There. You see Rob Wall now presented with a golden opportunity to drag this match back to 5-4.
Can't leave the ball on the left hand side as his last ball, so has to stun across and get on it now. And he's going to have to time this well as well, because he needs to get all the way down.
Well, I think you can just, if he bumps it off the rail, just screw in left hand side. Perfect.
Nice. Yeah, really good.
Well, 5-4. Rob Wharne hanging on to Raybone's coattails. I was on the comms for 5-4. First 9 frames, all breaking finishes, and then it just went a little bit odd for a few minutes,
didn't it?
But it was Hogan that came out on top, and his place in the semi, and the battle against Tom Cousins.
A dry break, and Rob Wharne leaps like a salmon into action. He probably won't exactly like what he looks. I mean, he'll love the fact that he's at the table, but it's a bit messy. One good shot would open things up.
And this is what it's been like, though, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, just
trading mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, Rob will be sat there thinking, well, he's not left anything easy there, but these are opportunities.
Yeah.
Yellow goes past the two reds at the top into that top corner, and obviously the yellow that's near the middle that looks awkward does go down this bottom rail. If you're going to win big professional tournaments, these are the finishes you need to knock in that make the difference. When John McAllister won his event this year, this is what he was doing. He was finishing for these sort of positions.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tom Cousins do it on regular occasions.
So the yellow is just bumped. It just becomes a little bit more awkward because he only moved it a couple of inches, but it would have gone into middle. Now it's just a bit more tricky. It probably goes off of the red. It may go direct, but I think probably he has to use the red.
Well, I'll tell you this now, we're heading towards the last 10 minutes of this match. We haven't been within a 6 red shootout the whole way through. And this is as close as I think we could possibly get. I'm looking at it, you know, it's 5-4. It'll soon be approaching 15 seconds a shot.
The only problem with the shot he's just played, yeah, he's going to play lost turn. I was going to say, the only problem with the shot he's just played is the pocket down at this end was the red being there was creating a bigger pocket for the yellow that was on the cushion, so he's had to pull back and play a loss of turn. He's happy to kill some time off the clock.
Well, I think that's just there when you're only one in front and there's 10 minutes. I mean, I think he's happy to have control up in that top corner.
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
that's the main thing for Neil. Neil wants this frame, get to the 2 frame cushion.
What about this?
Well,
play the plan, screw across. No, maybe it was just a bit too thin. I was thinking it may be too thin for that.
Not sure about that shot. I don't know. I think maybe a case for having the old flailing arm at them, because this is going to get developed now by Raybone. Oh, he's potted it.
Yeah, didn't want it to drop.
Well, there's not a lot else really to do. You can't afford to move that yellow that's awkward at the middle, top of the middle table, because if you put that down the bottom of the table, Rob then plays loss of turn and it puts you in right trouble.
For Neil, it's all about where he leaves the cue ball. He can't leave the cue ball on the right hand side, because that would give the angle for Rob to develop.
Well, that's put the cat among the pigeons. So now both sets of colours are open, so Raybone's going to get first opportunity. Needs to pot this and give himself a nice angle down the bottom to get upstairs.
Yeah, Rob was trying to get that red down over this right hand pocket, so he knew that Neil would have a shot, but well, if he covers the pocket and doesn't, as it happened, he moved the yellow, which wasn't part of the plan.
Well, he's playing this off the 3 rails, coming around the angles. What's he done with the cue ball? Wow.
Is in.
You have to play that with so much more side than what he did there. I mean, he could have played it with check side and gone straight up the table. That one, you really do. You play that way nearer the middle bag than that. You come into the middle of that side rail up at the top of the table.
That's a massive moment.
Yeah, that's one that Neil would like to have again. Sure.
6-4 with 7 minutes on the clock, and Neil is firmly in control. 5 each. This is anyone's game all of a sudden.
Every scenario possible now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we could definitely see.
Thing cut into the corner. Yes. The one thing though, you're playing this, you're not under any massive pressure because of where the yellow is. That Raybone, but then we've seen some crazy shots this week. And it goes, and we're now back level once again. Raybone 5, Wharne 5, frame 11.
Needs a ball though, and he does. Makes 2. But oh, look at all those balls converging at the top of the table.
Well, he's got to take the long red, unless that red goes in the centre. I think he's got to take the long red down into this bottom right-hand corner.
This isn't bad news. This isn't too bad.
But he needs to make the red.
Yeah, if he gets the red, he can screw back for the one that's...
Or we can get to this one into the bottom corner.
Yeah.
That's big. That's a great big shot, that one.
Yeah, and he can screw straight back for his hard... You know, this is the hardest ball to get on. Everything else after this should be plain sailing.
He's never had his nose in front this match. It's Wacker.
Nope.
Raybone started 2-0. Rob pulled it back to 2-2, and then Raybone went ahead again, and he's just been sort of just hanging on in there. This is the time to find a break and finish. That's for sure.
Another half a roll there would have been... he's okay. He can just screw straight across. Tiny bit straighter though.
He's managed that pretty good.
Yeah.
Bit more angle than he wanted. A lot more angle than he wanted.
And that's what I mean. Like if he's another half a roll on that last shot, he can get a lot closer to this red.
Oh,
Rob.
He just can see it. Wow.
But can he pot it?
He decelerated down on the cue there into that ball. Oh dear. Well.
That is unbelievable.
But Raybone can't believe it. Now this is where he wants to now maybe eat away a bit at the clock, because he can mess about with these yellows a little bit.
I just come back to the shot a second ago. I mean, when he's played the shot, he just played it so quickly and has ended up fairly straight. Oh, that's going to be an off. That's going to be a disaster.
Well, this should be end of frame here for this one.
But if you think back, when I said if he's got another half a roll, he can stun across the table and get a lot closer to that penultimate ball, rather than leaving it above the...
Just looked very rushed.
The middle pocket.
That last ball, it's so important to get properly on the last ball and the black, and it was just a bit rushed. And he definitely decelerated it on his cue for the last red. That's why he fell so short. Raybone's just got to hold himself together now.
Shouldn't have been that far away.
No. All about just think, right, this is it. I hold myself together, knock these in, get 6-5 up on the hill. It's also Raybone's break next.
I know, Tony, but this game's had everything so far. There's no way that it's just going to be a simple finish.
He wants to break a pot of ball, doesn't he? If he breaks a pot of ball, he can eat into the clock, and that's yeah.
There's a twist in this tail yet.
Oh, I don't know.
There's a twist in this tail.
I don't know, Nick. Yeah, it's been an entertaining game, but for different reasons than the earlier quarterfinals.
Absolutely,
to be fair.
Absolutely. Miss balls create drama.
Well, the way they've been playing, nothing's a gimme. The relief. There's a bit of, if you look at Neil's sort of face there, as that yellow dropped in, it's more like the relief it's gone in.
What I will say is that whoever comes out victorious in this needs to up their game for the semi-final.
Without doubt, Sean Story's not making the mistakes that are happening out here. No chance.
No.
Well, that cue ball's bouncing everywhere.
Rob would have just been itching.
Look at that split on yellows. That is, he's got the drop in the middle, cue ball going towards those two at the top rail.
How close is that to in off though? I mean,
yeah, it's bouncing. The white's bouncing.
It looked like it was going straight towards that left middle, and it's just caught the knuckle.
There wasn't any attention paid to controlling that white. No. It was hit them hard and hope I get a ball. Yeah. I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Absolutely.
It's too late in the day for all of that nonsense. Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
He needs to clear these as well, otherwise Rob's going to have kind of 40 seconds at a really quick clearance.
Yeah, I agree. The match is there for Neil. He can forget the clock now. Yeah. The match is there.
Yeah.
If there's something a bit dodgy, you think, right, I'll clog up a couple of balls.
I'll run it down. Yeah.
And put obstacles in the way. But this is.
That's perfect. Landed on the hardest ball.
I think that yellow goes in both bottom corners, this one here. That's perfect. Yeah. Now we can pop this one, the yellow in beneath the black. Just be careful with the cue ball. Still over a minute left, because if he did make a mistake now. No, he's played that very well as Neil. One careful, controlled positional shot, and Neil Raybone is heading for the semi-final.
He's going to have to come below the 8 though, isn't he? He's got too much angle to screw straight back, so he's going to have to come below and play it long. Now then.
Well, he'll be taking all of his time with this one.
He will.
He's having a look at the clock.
If he misses,
trouble is though, if you leave it too late, you play a panicky shot at this.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is for the match. He's got it. Neil Raybone knocks in the black ball. He's beaten Rob Wharne 7 frames to 5, and he will meet Sean Story in the semi-final later